do a super long video, there's just a few things that I want to address. One being protein, and how most of you are not even coming close to hitting the mark on that. Two, cutting. Obviously, I'm in a cut. I did a video on that. It is like cutting season, right? And all cutting season is like your beach bod. Like that's what people call it. You cut to trim up to get lean, to be able to take your shirt off when it's 80 degrees out and look good. You know, bulking, you're fluffy, you're putting all that mass on. You look good with your shirt on. Not so great with your shirt off, but it's 5 degrees outside. You're not going to take your shirt off. So we're going to talk about the illusion of cutting and why I call that an illusion. 3. I get comments now. Just recently, I've been getting comments on the videos of people getting, I guess, butthurt, we'll say, or upset with me. Let me just state this really quick. I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not a fitness instructor, a fucking trainer. I'm not any of that shit. I don't sit here and tell you that I am. I don't sit here and speak lies. I don't sit here and tell you a bunch of untruthful shit. What I do tell you is stuff that I've done myself, stuff that I've read, studies that I've read, and a bunch of fitness like gurus who look 10 times better than me and you getting mad, who know what the fuck they're talking about. Now, some might not. Again, we've done a video on the people who just trying to sell you their cookbook or sell you their whatever bullshit. But even those guys that are trying to sell you that shit, they don't look like Peter Griffin, okay? They look like Arnold. They know a little bit about a little bit, clearly. I'm not just regurgitating everything that they say. What I am doing is giving you the best tips that I can give you to things that I've tried and things that worked. There's things that I've tried that didn't fucking work, or there's things that I've tried that I didn't like. And I talk about that shit too. Just because it might work for this guy doesn't mean it's going to work for you, or just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Vin just did a video about, like, you know, the best, he did the clickbait title, what's the best, you know, the best 4 movements for a large back or whatever it was. And immediately he got a comment on there like, what's the best 4 movements? You never said the best 4 movements. It's like, dude, did you watch the video? Or did you just read that, skim through it really quick and be like, he didn't even name it? No, he did. It's whatever best 4 movements for you that you can figure out. He says in there, maybe the barbell row is too much for you. Maybe you have to do a different movement. That's what we're saying. I got another guy on there who got really upset over the fat being a choice video that I did. Now, he's seen a 10-second clip that I cut up into a short talking about that. I will bet my life he didn't go and click the link to watch the full, whatever, 35-minute video that it is about why I say that. It's not like I'm attacking fat people. I'm not saying that you're a piece of shit. What I am saying is that the guy who said that to me got really upset that I said fat's choice, said that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't know, we're losing his sub or whatever. That's fine. I will state this really quick. Me and Vin don't do this channel to get a gazillion fucking subs, to get a gazillion views, and a gazillion fucking people on here blowing you because you work out. We don't do that. If you don't watch our videos, that's okay. If you don't endorse us as like humans and listen to anything we have to say, that's okay too. If we get 5 views and all 5 are from our mother, that's okay too. We're not on here to try and get rich. We're not on here to blow up. I think the last thing that me and him would want, I know for me, for sure, is to be like walking down the street and like get recognized. That's the last thing I want. Trust me, I'm not a people person. I don't even like to get recognized by family members like in a store, let alone some random who's like, I seen your video on fucking protein or whatever. That's not what we do it. This all started for health. I was in poor health. Vin was in poor health. We tried to figure out what we can do to get out of that situation. So when I talk about fat being a choice, it is a fucking choice. Whether you hate to hear that or not. Just like being in shape is a choice, okay? Just like anything that you do in life is a fucking choice that you made. Some can't control the choice. And if you watch that video, I say that. Yeah, some might have a thyroid issue. Some might have gotten into a car accident and they went from 200 pounds to 400 pounds because they lost the ability to walk and all of this other stuff. Obviously, those things exist. That's not the person that I'm talking about in the video. And if you watch the video, you clearly see that. You clearly see that I'm stating this goes for the guy who is probably writing the comment, who was sitting there at 400 pounds eating a Big Mac and a McFlurry and a large fry and a large Coke, and that's his warm-up meal to his actual meal, and he's playing World of Warcraft or whatever the fuck people are playing, and he's getting mad because he stumbled across that short, and I said that fat was a choice, and he's sitting there over, or maybe he's 100 pounds and he's fucking underweight and he's just really mad that I said that, and instead of like watching the video and doing some research, he just got mad and typed in some shit. I don't know. What I do know is I don't care either. If I hurt your feelings from something that I say, address it, and then answer me when I answer you back. So when I answer you back and I say, tell me how I'm wrong, that's what he put. Well, you're stupid and ignorant and wrong and not subbing or whatever the fuck it was. And then I had commented on there, tell me how I'm stupid or how I'm wrong or any of that. Like, let's have a conversation about it. We're adults. We can talk it through and not get upset over it. Believe me, there are far worse people out on the internet, fitness influencers than the things that I'm saying. I posted a thing the other day about Joey Stacks. If you really want to watch a fucking character, watch him. Now, I'm sub to him because I think he's hilarious. But at the end of the day, it's like the dude is top tier piece of shit, right? He is in shape. He is in really good shape. He does work hard to be in shape. But besides that, as a human being, he's a shit human. He's a fucking clown. He walks around at, 40 some years old and still acts like he's a fucking 15-year-old or 20-year-old fucking tough guy, calling people out and literally shitting on like your average man, like your average, 50-year-old guy who's at fucking Home Depot picking up lumber, who is completely out of shape and wouldn't harm a fly. But Joey fucking Stacks over here has his little camera out and just rips that dude to shreds. Because at the end of the day, it's like, what's that guy going to do to him? But then runs into somebody who is going to do some shit to him, and he immediately pulls a knife out on him. Every time. And there's video of that. There's video of him talking shit on a guy. That guy literally tracking him down, calling him out, telling him to come outside, and Joey Stacks pulls a knife out on him. So go yell at those guys. Like, be mad at those fucking idiots and those clowns. And then, Stacks goes on and tries to sell you every fucking product that he endorses or that endorses him or whatever. And he has a bunch of followers. Figure it out. Me and Vin have 93 subs or whatever, and all we're doing, we're not even selling you shit. All we're doing is trying to kick some knowledge to you. And it might not even be fact. It's just shit that I've done and shit that he's done and shit that we implemented in our own lives and our own programs that really are working for us. All we're saying is, hey, maybe try some of these. If they work for you, awesome. At the end of the day, even if they didn't work for you and you went another route and at the end of the day you got healthier, that's our goal. That's literally our goal, is to make you healthier, not necessarily look phenomenal. The look aspect of it, that's on you. That's on you. You can be extremely healthy and not look like Joey Stacks. You know what I mean? Or you can be Joey Stacks and look phenomenal and not be healthy at all, depending on what kind of bullshit you're shooting into you and all kinds of, and you know what I'm talking about. Not saying Stacks is on steroids, but he's on fucking steroids. The dude's fucking testosterone's through the roof, and he's fucking jacked. Now, you could be jacked and not be on steroids. That's a whole nother thing, a whole nother video. We're not even going to get into that. That was just another thing I wanted to touch on, was the Stacks fucking idiot. And, I was going to do a long video where I show a bunch of clips of him just being obnoxious and a fucking idiot. But it's like, why even do it? Why even, waste my breath? I want to waste my breath on, shit that I give a fuck about. But go watch him. Even sub to him, He's funny. He's definitely funny. It's just like the Trend Twins, I tell you. Maybe don't listen to their advice wholeheartedly, but they're funny. They're those two are they're good dudes. They just don't give the best advice. But they're 20. I didn't give good advice at 20 either. I barely give good advice at 40. But the Trend Twins, I like them. Greg is another one. Coach Greg's another one. I sub to him. His videos are funny. I think he's a fucking douchebag. I think he literally is on YouTube and all these platforms to sell products and to shit on influencers and to portray himself as this clean, natty lifter who is literally roided the fuck out. That's how I feel about him. The Trend Twins, at least they admit everything that they take and everything they're on. My only issue with those guys are their lack of knowledge, I guess, of stacking all of these different steroids together and acting like it's not going to put them into the grave with the amount that they're doing. And then, portraying that to their people. Telling you, here's the list of steroids that are absolutely safe and you could pair all these together and nothing will happen to you. You can't make that claim. You certainly can't make that claim at 20. That's a whole other thing. The next issue that I want to talk about is a steroid type issue. So I get a lot of people who will reach out to me, friends who will reach out to me and be like, what the fuck are you on? What are you taking? And that kind of pisses me off a little bit. Just because, why can't I just be taking it serious? Why can't that just be the thing? If you don't drink, and I don't, and if you drink, that's fine. And a lot of my friends who do work out, they do drink. But if you don't drink, you're really serious about your macros, you're really serious about your protein, and you're really serious about your training, and you live that way, and you hit those every single day, and you don't take a cheat day. Not saying that if you do take a cheat day, that's bad. Take a cheat day. That's great. Most people have cheat days. I tend to not have as many cheat days just because my days just seem to go in. I don't know if it's because I work overnight. They just one after another run into each other. So it's by the time I think to take a cheat day, I'm already on to the next fucking thing. Not that I don't cheat here and there. Sure I do. If I go to Mom's and she made a chocolate cake, how am I not going to eat that chocolate cake? Of course I'm eating it. I guess that's not a cheat day. That's just a quick cheat. 9,000 calories. Anyway. Don't just assume somebody who is doing everything right is naturally just taking something. Because that's not the case. You could just be hitting your protein. You could be hitting your creatine. You could be... that is what I take. I take creatine. I take protein. I take fish oil. And I take all my training really, really serious. I don't skip days. I don't bullshit through days. If I'm going to go to the gym or in my basement, in this case, I'm going to work fucking hard. And if I don't work hard, and there is days where I feel like I didn't work hard enough, even though I hit all my numbers, you feel it in you. When you had more to give, and maybe you phoned the rest of it in. We all have days like that. I have days where I'm super tired and I'm super fatigued and probably should take the day off, and I don't. And I fucking push through it, and instead of being 100% like I normally would do it, I maybe hit 80 or 70, which I guess is better than none, but you do run the risk of hurting yourself. So you just got to be careful with all that. But don't just look at somebody and automatically assume they're on something, because that's just not the case. All these guys that do hit me up and say that, though, what's the one factor that they have? The one factor is alcohol. They all use alcohol numerous times a week. You could say what you want about it. I did a video about it. It absolutely will hinder your growth, your performance, your everything. It just does. Depending on how much you drink of it, that number just goes up. And eating. Most people don't track the eating the way they should, which is going to bring us back to the first point, which was protein. Most of these ain't hitting your protein. You're supposed to hit 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, you want to shoot for 200. Obviously, if you're 400 pounds, you're in a fat loss phase, you're not going to hit 400 grams of fucking protein. Excuse me. And you're not supposed to. If you're 400 pounds and your goal is to be 250 pounds, you want to at least try to come somewhere close to 250 grams of protein. I know that's going to be really hard, especially in a fat loss. But there's things that can help you. There's things that you can take that help you along the way. And I know there's people who are like, well, I don't want to take this, I don't want to take that. There's nothing wrong. First off, there's nothing wrong with taking creatine. Everyone should take it. I take it. My wife takes it. Everyone should take it. It's not only just really, really good for your muscle and your recovery and growth, it's really good for your mind. It will keep you fucking sharp. Take it. Protein powder. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Turn your shit around and read the back. If it aligns with all of your macros, take it. Because you're not going to be able to get on the fly that quickly 50 grams of protein in you. I'm going to put up what I take. I take it every single night. I know that my protein shake at the end of every night is going to be anywhere from 30 to 70 grams of protein, depending on what I need for the day. After I'm done counting, because I'll count every day on how much protein I'm taking. So at the end of the night, it's either going to be, a 30 gram shake or a 70 gram shake, and that's how I end every night. And I add my creatine right in to that. There's some that taste like dog shit. There's some that taste really, really good. The one that I put up, I feel like tastes almost like a cheat meal. I think it's like a chocolate shake, and I love it. And I put a couple of people onto it. Vinny had put me onto it after literally trial and error of trying all of these different ones that just had that chalky, disgusting taste to me. They might love it, or you might love it, or whatever. Not me. I was trying to fucking down that, and most of the time I think about it coming back up. I found this one, Redcon 1. I think it tastes phenomenal, personally. Almost feels like a cheat meal. I enjoy it every night. That being said, cutting is an illusion. Why do I say that? I say that mainly because just 3 days ago I watched a documentary about Scott Steiner. Now, for those of you who might be a wrestling nerd in the 90s like I was, Scott Steiner was a wrestler. He was part of the Steiner brothers. They were a tag team. He was jacked. He was really big. He wasn't super cut. He was just, you could look at him and be like, yep, that dude's fucking big. Well, I'm watching this documentary, and here, when he was with the Steiner brothers, he was like 275 to 280 pounds. Which is a big fucking dude. Then when he turned, heel, as they call it, and became a bad guy, and left his brother and went solo or whatever he did, he turned into Big Papa Pump, he called himself. And he was, if you thought he was big as the Steiner brothers, he was like fucking beyond as Big Papa Pump. Or so I thought. Listening to him in the interview talk about how he went from 280 and cut all the way down to like 250 when he became Big Papa Pump blew my mind. Because if you put the two, and I'll put the two next to each other, 10 out of 10 times you're going to pick Big Papa Pump looking bigger than when he was Scott Steiner in the Steiner brothers. But what he did was he had already had all of this muscle and mass. So all he did then was trim down, get super, super lean, and literally etch in the fine detail of all of that muscle that you're seeing on him. So in reality, he's much smaller as Big Papa Pump than he was as Scott Steiner. And he's much bigger as Scott Steiner. But the illusion will make you think otherwise. So that's kind of why we cut. That's kind of why we bulk up in the winter to try and put on as much mass as possible. And in the summer, we lean out and we try to cut all that off and try and save as much muscle in the process as you can. Now, listen, is Scott Steiner on steroids? Absolutely. He absolutely is. What's one of the huge benefits of being on steroids? You can lose weight and still gain muscle. So for like normal folks, when we lose weight or we're in a cut or whatever we're doing, we already know ahead of time going into that we're going to lose some muscle. The slowness of your cut is going to kind of determine how much you're going to lose. If you do it really, really fast, you're probably going to lose a significant amount that you don't want to lose. You didn't just spend all that time bulking up to cut super fast in 2 months and lose a shit ton of muscle in the process. Half a pound a week, go really, really slow, you'll lose a little bit of muscle. You're going to lose muscle. I am visibly smaller now to myself, but to some other people might see me and go, damn, you look even bigger. Just an illusion.